All right, let's get on to the guy who most people have as their number one corner. We're the oddballs. We're the goofballs.
Especially the goofballs.
We're just full of balls.
Yeah. So many balls.
Travis Hunter. Now you notice to specify in the thumbnail there, cornerback Travis Hunter, because obviously for those who've been living under a rock for the last few months or so, the scouts have been nonstop talking about this kid, if not the last year or two, or hell, he was the top prospect coming out of high school. Even it goes back that far, but he is obviously wide receiver / corner. We already did a video on him as far as a wide receiver, so this is strictly him as a corner. So obviously from Colorado University, also outside corner there, 6'1", 185 pounds, 21 years old. He will turn 22 next year, from West Palm Beach, Florida. This past season, 13 games, 36 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 4 interceptions, 11 passes deflected. His PFF grade, because we always give you that, guys, as well. His PFF grade is overall. So I just want to clarify that. It's him as a receiver and as a corner. It's 88.2. So, they don't give you a breakdown. I wish they would. But let's be frank. Before this kid, no one even had to think about this. This wasn't something you really thought about. He's got pretty much every single major award you could possibly want this year. Obviously, Heisman Trophy winner, Walter Camp Award winner, Chuck Benerick Award, Lot Impact Trophy. I mean, All-American, everything you could want. He spent like 15 minutes going over all the awards this kid's won. When it boils down to it, he's a good player. He's a solid player. My biggest issue for him, and we're going to talk about this with a couple players this year, because it's an interesting crop of corners here, is his size. I know they say he's 185 pounds. I know that. Like, I'm going to point blank say that. I feel like he plays like a 170 pounder.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But I mean, also
he actually weighed 188 pounds. I should say, at the combine. I did check that real quick to verify.
I mean, I guess in his defense, I mean, most of these players have been coming off for wide receiver are about 180 pounds, so 170 pounds.
But the thing is, you don't got to be as physical as a wide receiver. You're hoping you're moving and stuff like that's what gets you open. As a corner, you have to be able to hit that pop. You have to be able to go ahead and win the battle for the ball. Like, this is, I just think he's too small. And like I said, he weighed 188 pounds at the combine. I get that. I don't know how much I trust it, because keep in mind, there's 2 sources that give the weight on this kid. The school gives it obviously for game day. The combine gave it. Now, the combine, keep in mind, he skipped all the workouts. So what I'm getting at when I say that is, did he add some weight real quick, go to the combine, get weighed in, and then go to his pro day at his regular weight?
Yeah. I mean, anyone out there that's had to do weigh-ins or
I was about to say the wrestling. I knew the wrestling story was coming.
Wrestling stories. Listen, there's times when you got to cut 5 pounds before the match. You got an hour to do it. You go run in some bags. There's sometimes you want to wrestle up a weight class and you drink a gallon of water and you hold it in before you throw up, which gives you about 8 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. Like, that's not like, again, you and I both wrestled. You obviously wrestled much longer than I did at that point there. But I did it in a little bit in the beginning. It's a normal thing for wrestlers to drop the weight, but it's, again, you can gain it.
There was a story. It's like when I think it was a junior, a guy from one of the schools, he overhydrated. He drank too much, right? Because he was trying to go up 2 weight classes.
Yeah.
So like, it's possible. You literally, like, a gallon of water is about 8 to 10 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, like I said, it just scares me to a certain degree. You know what he reminds me of? Remember Emmanuel Forbes that came out a couple years ago?
Yes.
The Commanders got him with the first overall pick. And we said then, like, this kid's way too small. Got the talent. He doesn't have the size. There's going to be issues here. He weighed in the combine 166 pounds. I look at these 2 players, they look the same damn size to me.
I mean, it's also you're not there in person. You don't see.
I know, but I'm saying I feel like I'm seeing some BS at the weigh-ins. I really am, and it's let's say, for example, 185 in college, they say. Let's say if he's really 175, and let's say just add the 10 pounds of the combine. Maybe we don't go down to 166 as real weight, but it's do you think honestly that a guy with that kind of weight, even let's say 180, 175 pounds, is it? And I was we're like saying we're like splitting hairs here because you got guys 190, 195, no problem playing. 10, 15 pounds when you're that weight is a decent difference for the record.
It's a big difference, especially when you're talking about pro athletes. Like,
but
10 pounds is a lot of weight.
Do you think he could succeed at that kind of weight? Because that's what I think is a legit weight. I really do think that. And listen, I'm not sure to saying that I know anybody in Travis Hunter's camp or I know any BS or I've heard any rumors. You know what I mean? My eyes tell me this kid's not 185 pounds.
Yeah. I mean,
let's put a scale at the podium when he goes to hug Goodell.
Yeah. Have Goodell on there. Put it at 0. So
exactly.
You know what he's at.
We'll find out what he really is.
Yeah.
Because Forbes had the problems. Forbes hasn't been able to do it. Now, Forbes has gone up to 180 pounds, by the way, for the record. He's actually gained 15 pounds since he started playing. But he's been a big disappointment for the Commanders. I mean, do you honestly think there's a chance for a guy to succeed at the kind of size we're talking here?
There is, but his style of play, he's not going to be the elite guy he was at Colorado, is what it comes down to. Like, you could get away with being a smaller guy as a corner, being shifty and, hands-on, but, like, that's not his style of play. Like, he looks like a receiver on defense is what he is.
Yeah.
And, which is not a terrible thing, but that's just something that really doesn't translate to the NFL that well. And that's something I've always said when it comes to Travis Hunter. Like, you got your corner and a receiver. One, you're not going to play him every down. That's just crazy. And two, like, if you're that small and you're trying to get pressure on a bigger body receiver like Juju Smith-Schuster or something, who's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
He's what, 210? And you're trying to push him from running at you and get some little stoppage, you're gonna get manhandled back there. It's okay when it's the other way around because you're small shifting, you get away from a bigger guy.
Yeah, and I wonder too about the competition he played, and I've always wondered that when it boils down to it. Listen, let's be honest, they did not have exactly the strongest schedule over there in Colorado, and I've said that about Shedeur Sanders. I still say it about him as well. I mean, look at the people he's played against, like Tet, who is potentially the best wide receiver in this draft, depending on how you think of him. He played really good against him this year. He only had 35 yards this year, but the year before he had 107 and a touchdown. You look at some of the games he's played, and you look at it and you go, "Where's the good player he went against?" Eric Amanor out of Stanford, for example, 294 yards and 3 touchdowns against him when they played, and actually got the game-winning catch against him even back in October of 23. I'm having to go that far back to go. Let me look at a team who had a really good wide receiver that he faced, and that's why I'm not trying to say he's a bad player, guys. What I think, and I've said all along, and I'll continue to say it till he proves me otherwise, because I just don't like flip-floppy. I think that he's going to be a wide receiver too, and a nickel corner.
Which, I mean, it's not. They have other positions. We need that in the NFL, but to take him at number 3.
Way too early for my taste. Way too early for my taste. And like I said, I know I'm of the minority, and I know we'll probably get some comments, people saying how I'm crazy and to put the crack pipe down. But I'm just telling you guys, this is where I'm at with him. I don't think he's that good. And Rob, you sound like you're on the same page as well. Solid player, legit first round talent, but not an elite player.
He's definitely listen, not take away. He's definitely going to be a talent in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
and he's definitely going to be someone that we're going to talk about down the road. This guy's a great player. But at number 3 in your draft, it's too rich for my blood.
I mean, to me, if I can tell you right now that we're going to sign a player to the Giants, it's going to get 800 yards receiving a season, let's say hypothetically, and go in as your in nickel dime packages as a corner and play a decent role there, you would take that all day long. But you wouldn't take it at 3.
No.
So, like I said, I'll probably get some poop for it, but it is what it is. So, but he is instinctive. Like I said, he was considered shut down in college again against very poor wide receivers. Just not trying to be a jerk. Just got to reiterate that. He's undersized, as I said. He's also got trouble shifting his hips on longer passes. When he gets beat, that's usually where it is. He gets beat in the longer passes. You know, there's a big one. The word we're going to use today as we talk about corners like crazy: transition. Transitioning is a huge part of being a corner. You have to start from the back pedal position. You try to get that pop in. You know, and then once you start getting level with that receiver, just right beforehand, right after you get that pop in, you're going to start turning and you're going to start shifting. That shift is where he has a little bit of a delay, where he's not as quick as some of the receivers are can be as far as getting up the field, and that creates a little bit of separation. That's where I think he's going to be more of a slot receiver kind of guy in the slot corner, I should say, guy in the NFL. But the problem you run into then is if you start putting tight ends in the slot and stuff like that, he's going to have some problems with that, obviously, at this size. Big problems of about 80-pound difference in weight. I mean, it's going to be an issue. So, like I said, solid player he's going to be. I just think he's way overblown to what I think he's going to be in this league. So,
if you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.